let me ask you. I always had something in my mind as an athlete that makes me curious. For example, we've seen a bunch of players, athletes, that they made a fortune during their careers.
Yeah.
100 million, 200 million, 300 million, like Allen Iverson, Mike Tyson, and they lost it all.
Yeah.
I'm very curious to hear from your perspective why this happens.
Yeah. No, we see it a lot, right? We all know these stories with if it's in the NFL, NBA, soccer. We're working with a lot of athletes. So in our investment firm, we have a lot of great athletes where we have the privilege to work with. So guys from the Dutch national team, playing for Liverpool, Man City, other big clubs on a global, on the highest level. We have NBA players, NFL players. And what we see is that these guys are getting way smarter. If you compare that from my perspective with 10, 15 years ago, it was always about the big fancy car and the watch and everything and spending money. But I think the questions that they're now already asking, I think that's changing. And yeah, look, and I don't have to explain it to you, but the athletes are earning so much money in a short period and a young age. So they don't have the financial knowledge to really understand, okay, how much money am I earning? What are my costs and how much can I invest in alternative investments, for example? So we are very, with our team, helpful and making sure, okay, we don't make decisions and over leverage ourselves. So to putting too much money in a specific thing. So to answer your question, I think it has to do with just the background and maybe don't have the right people around yourself who can advise you to making smart decisions. And I see it's changing. I think especially also here in the United States, again, if I'm talking with athletes who playing college or now with the NIL, they're making already bigger amounts. The guys and women are getting way smarter. So, and that's something where we are helping, and it's a really important thing for In Studio Ventures because we're working with these athletes. We're involving them a lot in what we're doing and why we're doing it. So tomorrow, again, we have a deal flow meeting. NBA players will be part of the call. NFL players, we have soccer players calling in, and they can ask questions. They can really understand, okay, why is this a great deal and not? So during this period, it's not just investing your money, you're actually learning why. And I think that's a big difference. And yeah, that's something that we're excited about. And we're still not there yet, I think, in general. But
With my experience talking to funds and people at your position, there's your approach is very unique, which
yeah,
you help the athlete understand and learn,
yeah,
right? And while they invest their own money, so I think that's very valuable, 1,000%. And going back to like Allen Iverson and Mike Tyson, all of these guys, what do you think? You said that maybe they weren't backed by the right people. They trusted the wrong people, and you see that this is changing right now. A lot of people, a lot of players, they're trying, or athletes, they're trying to get into more ventures to understand more. Why do you think that has changed from before to now?
yeah. Look, I agree. We still see it, right? Don't get me wrong. You still see the wrong people in the industry who trying to take advantage of the athletes. So it has to do a lot with trust. So also, for example, we're working with Jameis Winston, NFL players playing for the New York Giants. We met, but it was first just also meeting with the family, right? So with his wife, the kids, my wife was there, the kids, and having that conversation and to see, okay, how are you acting to your family? How are you responding to your kids? And really understand each other instead of first already jumping into business and trying to do deals.
Right.
It starts very organically and building up that trust relationship. I think, again, that's for me where it starts. So these examples that you're just mentioning, I think it still comes back to, because the athlete, the whole life is all about sports, right? So you cannot say, okay, this person already has the wealth and the financial knowledge to do all these smart things. So, but I think that's something that's changing. Sometimes I feel it's almost becoming cool to be an entrepreneur and investor, right? The athletes want to be like LeBron or KD or Serena, who build up that empire. So they look up to these people who build more actually off the pitch than on the pitch in terms of their wealth. And I think that's a good thing. But again, making sure you surround yourself with the right people and have the people around you that can actually advise you and also make sure you make the right decisions. That's a crucial thing.
What would be the recommended percentage of earnings to invest, for example, in studio ventures?
So I would say what we see in general, like you start with where you feel comfortable with, and it's the bigger percentage, 60, almost 70%, I would say, just go into US treasuries, bonds, things that give you 5-6% or whatever the percentage is at that moment. What you don't touch, right? That you have there, you bigger chunk of your money in that's throwing off cash, you can almost live off that money. Then I would say a smaller percentage is for alternative investments. That's depending on your profile. So it's difficult to say this is does need to be it, but I would say around 10-20% from your total earnings. That's something where a lot of athletes feel comfortable with. And then, look, we also have assets where we're now looking to invest in is the NFL franchise. So we're looking to invest in an NFL franchise, very stable assets. So the risk profile is also different there. I don't know, but if you have these figures ready, but 110 billion media deal is connected to the NFL franchise well till 2023. There's a scarcity effect. So there are only 32 franchises. These things combined make sure, and it's not something that I say you can do. You can do your own research. It's outperforming the S&P 500 already for 20 years. So it's a stable asset. So that's something where I would say that's already easier to put more money into because these are, again, very stable assets, if that makes sense.